Hey everyone, now we are going to discuss on a single phase fully controlled bridge rectifier with the RLE load. So you are having an extra EMF which is coming to the load. You can imagine it as a DC motor back EMF. And here you will be assuming a continuous conduction, that is the current S0 reaches to 0 at any instant of time. That is the output current I0 will be always greater than 0 value. Now you are applying the source voltage Vs, which is nothing but Vm sin omega t, and then you will be having your load, that is nothing but your output voltage V0 across the load R, L and E. So you will be having a source current Is and you will be having a load current I0. So the only difference is that you have an extra EMF which comes into picture at this instant of time. So that EMF E, I will be drawing it over here like this. So this is nothing but your EMF E. So in the case of the output voltage V0, I have plotted two dotted sinusoidal waveforms. One is representing, this is representing VAB. That is, here you can see that your A is positive with respect to B during the positive half cycle, and we have one more waveform which I have plotted it down here. That is nothing but VBA, that is B is positive with respect to A, or else we can say that VAB is nothing but minus of VBA. And this is just for our understanding purpose for AC drawing of the system. That is, during the positive half cycle, when you are applying a positive voltage to the A terminal, T1 and T2 gets forward biased, and similarly when you are applying a positive value to the B terminal, then T3 and T4 are conducting. So that is the only thing for having these two dotted lines, just for indicating for a better understanding. Now we need to provide our firing pulses to the thyristors T1 and T2 during the cycle from 0 to pi. So we will be having our cycle. So this is 0, this is pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, like that it is going. From 0 to pi, T1 and T2 are forward biased and T3 and T4 are reverse biased, and therefore if you are giving a firing pulse to T1 and T2, but that they will be start conducting. Now you can just have a look at over here for the source voltage Vs, and this is nothing but your EMF E. So at any instant of time I can trigger the thyristors from 0 to pi. But you also just imagine this particular factor. So this I am going to write it as theta. Intersection of your EMF E and your source voltage, I am going to mark it as theta. Now you just imagine that I am going to fire my thyristor alpha at an angle omega t less than theta. So less than theta, the source voltage Vs is lesser than your EMF E, that is at the load side. So basically your thyristors T1 and T2 will be not in the forward biased condition, and therefore you won't be able to trigger the thyristors from 0 to theta. So in order to get your thyristor to get turned on, then obviously you have to trigger your alpha at an angle which is greater than theta. That is, above theta only your thyristor will get fired, because the T1 and T2 gets forward biased at an angle alpha, at an angle omega t greater than theta, and that is nothing but your firing angle alpha. And that firing angle alpha I am going to mention at the same instant of theta here. That is, at the same intersection I am going to give my firing angle. So this theta, now I will just remove it. That was just for our understanding purpose. Now I am going to fire my thyristor at the same value of theta, that is, so this is nothing but your angle alpha, that is nothing but your firing angle. So I'll be firing it over here, again at here, again my firing will be happening here, again my firing will be happening here. So these are the firing pulses I am going to give it to the thyristors. So this is for T1 and T2, and this is one which is given to T3 and T4. Now at an angle alpha I am going to fire my thyristors T1 and T2. Therefore this output voltage will be same as your input voltage, and therefore I can draw it like this. And since it is an inductive load, the current will be lagging, and therefore I am going to draw the current I0. So this is a continuous conduction mode, so therefore the current will not reach to 0. So when it is fired, the current gradually increases like this. It will not become 0, and after omega t equal to pi, it gradually reduces like this. And by the time it reaches, surpasses over the angle pi, your voltage V0 will also be following the same waveform in the negative direction. Again at an angle omega t equal to pi plus alpha, I am in a condition to fire the thyristors T3 and T4. So there we will be using this VBA. That becomes VB is positive with respect to VA, and therefore the output voltage will be following the VBA waveform which you have plotted it down. So it will be moving like this. So that time again what happens, your current again starts increasing like this, but it will not become to 0 at 2 pi, and therefore it will be conducting like this. Again your output voltage V0 will be following the negative half cycle of the waveform of VBA, and again you are firing a thyristor at again 2 pi plus alpha, where your thyristors T3 and T4 are T1 and T2 are forward biased, and therefore your output voltage will be like this. So this will be repeating like and from 0 to alpha also I can plot the current waveform like this and your voltage waveform like this. So this denotes the entire working principle of the system. The only thing which we need to take care is nothing but your Vm sin alpha. So here I have mentioned about one angle theta. So that Vm sin alpha is the value of your source voltage Vs at that angle theta. So that Vm sin alpha should be greater than your Em of E in order to get your thyristor to get forward biased into the conduction mode. So that is just representing your feature over here. So this particular portion, you can see here that Vm sin alpha, that is the angle at which I am going to trigger my thyristor, should be greater than your Em of E in order to make it into conduction period. So this is how we can plot the output voltage and the output current. And in the same way, you can also plot your source current Is. Source current Is. So in the initial stage, the current is flowing from the point A to T1, then to the load RLE, then T2, and then back to the supply like this. So this is going to follow the same direction of your I0. So IS and I0 are same when T1 and T2 are conducting. Now, when the T1 and T2 are conducting, you can again plot it over here. So this is for T1 and T2. Similarly, when your system is conducting in the pi to 2 pi, and I am going to trigger my thyristor at pi plus alpha, thyristor T3 is getting forward biased. So therefore the conduction will be from the lower part of the supply to the point B to T3, then to the load. Here you can just observe that it is flowing the same direction of the current I0 in the previous case. Then T4, then A, and back to supply. Here it is moving in the opposite direction to your supply current IS. And therefore you can plot your current waveform of IS from pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha in the reverse direction. So this and complete that. So that is the source current. Now one more thing which we can draw it over here, that is nothing but your voltage across your thyristors VT1 and VT2, VT1 and VT2. So when your thyristors VT1 and VT2 are conducting from pi alpha to pi plus alpha, so during that period of time the voltage across thyristor is 0. Again from 2 pi plus alpha to 3 pi plus alpha, again it is 0. So rest of the time it will be replicating the source voltage like this. So this is for VT1 and VT2. Similarly, you can plot it for VT2, VT3 and VT4, and also IT1 and IT2. Now we need to derive the equation for the output voltage V0. So V0 waveform is nothing but this one. We can see that its value is getting replicated from each half cycle, that is from alpha to pi plus alpha. So from alpha to pi plus alpha, that is from this particular region, is the waveform which is getting repeated. So therefore the time period is pi plus alpha minus alpha, so the time period is pi. Therefore it is 1 by pi integral alpha to pi plus alpha Vm sin omega t d omega t. You will be getting your answer as 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. Similarly, the RMS value of output voltage Vrms is nothing but the root of 1 by pi alpha to pi plus alpha Vm square sin square omega t d omega t. You will getting the values Vs. So therefore you can say that the RMS value of output voltage is same as your source voltage Vs itself. Also, you can just look at over here the output voltage waveform and the current waveform. From alpha to pi plus alpha, your voltage is, from alpha to pi, your voltage is positive. From alpha to pi, voltage is positive, current is also positive. Then from pi to pi plus alpha, the voltage is negative and your current is positive. So from alpha to pi, the average power is positive, and from pi to pi plus alpha, the average power is negative. But the net power flow will always be from the AC source to the DC load, because your pi minus alpha is greater than your alpha. That means your average voltage is more positive in nature. And next case we will also discuss about how it is going to operate in the inverting mode of operation, where the power is being fed back from the load to the source. So in that case you need to have the understanding of the previous lecture, where we discussed about the line commutator inverter, where your alpha, the firing angle alpha, is greater than 90 degrees. So here you can see that the value of alpha is less than 90 degrees and you are getting the waveform like this. Thank you.